Welcome back to Rebel Reviews. Today I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the full season of Secret Invasion, followed by where the current MCU stands and what problems they may have, and can all of this be fixed moving forward. So stay tuned for that. But first, before we jump into that, go ahead and press that like button, click subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any and all new content. And here's your regular scheduled spoiler warning. Please make sure that if you haven't seen the show, you do not listen to the upcoming things I'm about to talk about. But if you don't care, of course, hang out, listen to me, and see what we got to say about Secret Invasion. Alright, so let's get started on my general thoughts of Secret Invasion. Today I'm going to do things a little differently. Usually I break things down into parts, but this is going to be more of a free-flowing conversation for you guys. I'm not going to spend too much detail on the whole Secret Invasion. I will talk about my general thoughts, like I said, but I'm not going to go into every detail of every episode. And then I'll jump into the MCU thoughts. So before I get into Secret Invasion, let's go back to the thought of Secret Invasion. It was first introduced to usual any fan who watched Captain Marvel. When you introduce the Skrulls, the first thing you think of is Secret Invasion coming? And I had huge hopes that Secret Invasion was actually going to be like an entire phase after that was Phase 4, I believe, the in-game phase, the Infinity Saga phase, and that going into Phase 5 that kind of be the one thing that is throughout every film. You could have used Skrulls in every film, who was who's not who. Like, I thought it would have been a good thing to just make it a big more scale. And then to find out that it was just going to be a limited TV show, I was kind of bummed, but still excited that I was going to get to see it because I am a huge fan of the possibilities of it. But the issues still stuck after watching this show. I think it's the weakest of the MCU shows. It does start pretty good, even though I was bummed that it wasn't going to be a huge thing. I thought that what they were diving into was the Nick Fury problem, why he left, why does he come back? Like, I thought there was going to be some growth there for him to see that, because we knew he was off planet during the end of the Infinity War phase. After he's come back, the blip, and then he's off, and then we know that Talos was being him on Earth. So I was curious about that, but it just doesn't land in the overall scheme of the series. Obviously, if you watch the show and you've seen the finale now, there's no growth. Nick Fury just is like the same person from start to finish, other than he accepts his wife as a Skrull now, which I don't think he knew that he didn't know that she was a Skrull. That's about it. Like, there was really nothing different, and he's leaving Earth again. So I don't know where they were going with that. It just didn't hit for me. I think another issue is it ends very. It just ends weird. It ends with the president saying we're going to attack aliens. I thought that was just a weird thing. Like, I thought we were supposed to be accepting of the aliens, and now the president's against the aliens, and now it just makes things worse. And maybe that makes it hope for it to continue. Like I said, maybe we'll get an actual Secret Invasion, but I feel like they just wasted it. Like, we're not going to have people pretending to be people anymore. And then the whole point is to, like, be the heroes. Like, it would have been nice to see, like, they use Rhodey here in the series as our one Skrull. We don't know when the Skrull took over him. Some people are arguing that it was after Civil War. I think it just doesn't make sense if it's that's the point. They didn't take any risk with it. You could tell, like, if you go back and watch, it would have been fun if you'd watch this show and go back and watch the movies and notice people acting differently, and we'd find out later that they're Skrulls later on, but, like, they didn't do anything to enhance that. Again, because it was small scale. If it would have been more of a phase throughout all the films, it would have been something bigger. But they just use Rhodey as our only, like, Avenger, and that's very small. It doesn't really do anything big for me. And it's Secret Invasion. Like, it should be the whole world should be at risk. It shouldn't be some small scale thing that they kind of turned it into. And then on the flip side of that, they do the wildest thing in the finale where Gravik gets the harvest, and Gaia as well. I don't think it was hard to figure out that it was not Nick Fury going through that process. It was a setup. But Gaia also gets the harvest, and now they have the DNA of people like Captain Marvel, Groot, Ebony Maw, the Hulk. They have all these powers now, and the show is just ends, and Gaia still has these powers. So she's basically the most powerful being in the MCU if she has Captain Marvel's powers, along with all those other ones. So I don't know. I think it's a mess. It didn't end very well. It just doesn't make sense for me. And I'm not one to knock. Like, I see a lot of people saying people are just knocking it now because it's an MCU show and it's easy to knock. I've been, like, highly praising a lot of the shows. This is definitely the weakest one, the most recent one. I just think they just didn't do enough with it for it to be Secret Invasion. They didn't do enough with it. And then all the issues you find out, like they told the director or writer not to even read the comics to use that. He just kind of made up on his own. They did the little AI intro that people were arguing about whether we should be using AI or not. I don't know, just a lot of controversy over this stuff. So I don't know. I was not a huge fan. Kind of a bummer. I do like Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury, and it was fun to see him more. The episode before the finale, he gets his coat back and his whole outfit and his weapons. Like that was a pretty cool sequence. So stuff with him was cool, but just overall as a meaningful storytelling device, it just didn't do anything for me. Obviously, let me know in the comments if you think anything different. So moving on from that, like I said, this is going to be short. I'm not going to go into every little detail, but I do want to talk about the MCU going forward. Can it be fixed? Is it broken? What do we think? One of my buddies said, is the MCU dead, I guess, but it's like we just had Guardians, so like how can you forget we had Guardians? I know all the movies of this phase, they haven't been connected as well. I think the big issue is COVID probably messed up some stuff. And then you're coming off Endgame. It's almost like you're going to have to do a slow build again, I think, but everyone expects it to just keep going, and I think it's okay for you to expect something and not get it. But then, like sometimes, like for Secret Invasion, you could expect something, but they just didn't do well for a show. It just wasn't good. So sometimes your expectations aren't going to be met, and sometimes that's on us because we might be expecting too much. But then sometimes if you should have correct expectations with a show, and it doesn't even do anything to get close to that. So I don't know if the issue is everyone just wants in-game all over again. It's going to be a slow build. Now, I think with Secret Invasion's ending, I believe, and I'm not trying to make anyone sound here, especially these guys during this strike, but Bob Iger took back over after Bob Chapek, like a year ago. And I think a lot of the Phase movies and all these TV shows were under Chapek. So Iger's been in control, but these were things that started before he took over. So now, and Iger here recently has said that they're going to slow things down. They did too much with the TV shows. And that could be it. If you make good content, it doesn't matter how much you make. So I think that part of the issue is like the expectations of you should still be making good content regardless of how much you put out. Would I miss some of these shows if they were gone? A couple. I like Hawkeye a lot. It's a fun one. I think it's got the most rewatchability for me because it's got the Christmas aspect. I still like Loki. WandaVision was good. I'd put Captain Falcon or Captain America Winter Soldier, however I can't remember the title. I'd put those towards the bottom. Moon Knight's good. She-Hulk's good. Like I think as I'm saying, these characters, Marvel, they're all introductions to characters they use these shows for. I think the miss in this phase was the inconsistency of the multiverse. They're using Kang as like the big bad guy to come from it, but we've only gotten him in a Loki show and we got him in Ant-Man, and I know there's just stuff with Major, so maybe that could do stuff, whatever. And we're building to the Kang Dynasty, but if we're going to build to something like the Kang Dynasty for a villain, we also have to build up these characters that mean something, and we've lost our meaningful characters. I was a huge Ragnarok fan, but I was not a fan of Love and Thunder as much. So Thor's kind of been broken down a little bit. Captain Marvel wasn't hugely like beloved. Obviously we don't have Iron Man. We don't have Captain America. We lost Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. I think Shuri does a good job stepping in. A lot of the characters we have left, this phase should have been just building up new characters. I don't know if they needed shows to do that. I think they should just have used movies and just kind of slowed it back down to the first stage, and then like a She-Hulk film or something. I think rights probably prevents that. But something like that, I think that's how you should have did it. Moon Knight, I think was a great show to introduce a character because it's more complex. So I can see that. I think they nailed it with the one shot, like the horror one shot with I'm going blank. Werewolf by Night. Maybe that should have been something they could have did to introduce some of these smaller characters rather than full TV shows and waste a storyline like Secret Invasion. So it's not been perfect. There's been some issues. I think the good thing is now that Iger, and again, not making him the hero, Iger is back in. He's talking about slowing things down and whatever. Maybe they'll harness it better. I think it will get better. It's just a growing phase. I think a lot of people are down, but like just think about what's coming ahead. Deadpool 3, it's going to be rated R. It's probably going to be $1 billion movie. That's going to kill. Spider-Man 4, when it comes, Spider-Man's going to kill. The X-Men, they still got in their back pocket, which is kind of like once you got the rights, like we're waiting on that. We want them. I think that's what they should have went with the multiverse rather than setting up a villain. I think they should just use the multiverse to just give us these characters. The biggest miss for me, because I'm such a big Scarlet Witch fan, and the House of M storyline, I think they should have used back in either Multiverse of Madness or the WandaVision TV show, which was my huge thought the whole time. They should have had her create the mutants in the comic line. She gets rid of the mutants. She says no more mutants, and then they're like gone. And there's other things that happen too. Go check that out. The House of M series. But I think they should have just used the multiverse to bring in like the X-Men. That should have been the basic thing you should have did because they haven't been here all along. I think they should have kept it simple, and then built it up to the multiverse stuff. So I think they just got a little head jumping right into the multiverse, not really fleshing out what they needed to do. But I think it can be fixed, like I said, when they come in. And then I think Fantastic Four, I love the Fantastic Four, the first family. They've never been done justice in the films. They, I think, are the savior for the MCU just because of what they can do with interdimensional travel. I think they can fix. Sorry, my dog barking. I think they can fix a lot of the issues. I'm not saying it's not a reboot, but they can travel and do something off world, and kind of set up the new Vision, I guess. Because I thought in this phase we were going to have like the Earth stuff happening, and then like the cosmic stuff happening. But the only thing cosmic was Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Thor, but like it was a little messy. And then we do have the Marvels coming, but if the Marvels is coming after Secret Invasion, like I don't know how much it's gonna actually do with the Galaxy Cosmo type stuff. And on Earth, they've just been the small scale stories, other than Eternals, which that was to start off the phase kind of deal. It was just too all over the place. Whereas if you go back and think of Phase 1, it was very simple. You just had Iron Man, you had Thor, you had one Hulk film. Like, it was just very basic, and it built to something I think they just did way too much, too scattered out. I think that's my opinion. But it can be saved, I think. I think it can be saved once they get everything together. Obviously, I think they're hearing what people are saying. They're looking at how much stuff is being watched. They're gonna fix it. I have faith in them. And let's say it doesn't work out. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It ends. And then maybe we have a break and they reboot it for some time, possibly. I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive. I think it's going to work out in the end. Like I said, when they introduce the X-Men for sure. And then the Fantastic Four can fix some of the stuff that they've gotten a mess in. So I think it fixed. I have high hopes. Secret Invasion was a downer. Next is the Marvels. I'll obviously be checking that out. You should check it out if you're a fan as well. That's pretty much where we can go from there. Some positives in the superhero world is we got Spider-Man 2 coming soon. So if you're a big video gamer, check that out. Sony just, I think today released, you can start pre-ordering the PS5 Spider-Man version. So check that out. That's pretty much it right now. We're just going to wait for Marvel to see what happens and see what goes with these phases. If you're aware or not aware, the strike right now with the writers and the actors is possibly pushing stuff back. So obviously all MCU films and shows are going to be a part of that as well. Deadpool 3 is already saying that they might be delayed. So we're on a down moment. Hopefully it all gets worked out. The strikes come to an end. People get what they want. And then we get good content. That's what we want out of it. So we'll see what happens. In the comments, guys, let me know what y'all think about the MCU and where it's at today. Let me know what you thought about Secret Invasion. If you're going to watch the Marvels, what you think going forward could be a possible thing in the MCU. It's just it's a little messy right now, but let me know your thoughts. And as always, press that like button if you haven't already. Click subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I hope you come back for more reviews. And I will catch you guys later. Rebel out.